Welcome back to another exciting episode of Break the Apocalypse Podcast, Hanukkah edition. Shalom, you bitches. This is your weekly look at the hellscape that we find ourselves living in forevermore. My name is John Draper. With me on this journey through hell, on a weekly journey through hell, is Shaheen. Shaheen, you were just in space a minute ago. You're not in space anymore.
Yeah, I'm not high anymore. I got back down. I'm back on Earth. But
Well,
man, good to be here.
It's good that you're back on Earth. I love the tank top in 30-degree weather. And of course,
It's hot here.
the pride of the Midwest, the king of tank tops, Mr. B. Show Brian, who's wearing like 4 layers of clothing.
It's fucking freezing here. Shaheen's fucking ripping off my gimmick, dude.
I know.
Well, all the heat rises to this room, dude. I don't know why this room is like a fucking boiler room.
That's where all the magic happens. In case you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We appreciate you checking us out. Just a little program note. We do this every week, people. You don't get the full show. You don't do it. We're not going to give it to you. Maybe for Christmas. We haven't decided yet. But the only way to get the full show currently is to go to patreon.com/break the app. $5 a month. The cheapest gift you'll ever get with the most value. What do you get for that $5? You might be asking me. And that's a fair question. You get the full unedited early edition of the podcast, usually about double what's available in the free platform, usually, sometimes even more, plus monthly bonus shows, including a special Q&A show that consists of 2 parts made up of questions exclusively of the Patreon members. Who are the people asking those questions? It's people like Bob Fernando and Nate Tabor, or is it Tabor? My apologies. Johnny Florida and Bruno Camano and Victor Guzman and JR and Charlie and John Dunn and Digital Lizard and Mike Brown and Jay. What about Brandon McIntyre and my good pal Carrie Goldberg and Sal Felix and Cockboy and Vic Condor and John Hannaf and Nathan Explosion? Then we have Justin Ludwig, Anthony Alston, Terrell Thibodeau, Leonard Van Deen, Cushion Pusher, MW Games, Larry Trailer, Michael, my pal Randy Shepard, Dirk, the podcast icon Don Tony is in the building. Jarrett Maloney, Darren Gatt, Cassette Classics 86 is here. Tyler Simpson, Austin Red, Lou in Houston, Steve Shaw, Stephen Teasdale. Is that Stefan? I'm always making the mistake. Stephen Teasdale. Is it Stefan Bisho? It's Stephen, right?
Stephen.
It's still Stephen. Stephen's probably like, yeah, dude, it's still Stephen a year later. Marquise Johns, Ruben, Anthony Jeter, Joe, Stella Eccles is here. Ronald Anderson is here. Adam Burgone is with us. Emmanuel, my pal Amy Foley. Jeff Lippity Lip 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 man, JB Buffbell, Jarek Braxton, my pal Kevin Mathurin is here. Michael Smith, Rivers Johansson, Jude, Matt, John Bernstein, Cloudy, Joseph Morrow, 3 Lays, my pal Willie Thompson, Cherry Jesus, Roxy Mike, J-Reb 92, Texas Sal, Mark Gordon, the Purple Haze. Danny Douglas is here. Paul Stockwell is with us as well. Fatty 316, James Gruesome, Daniel Clark, Deliverance, Christopher Kane, and the adorable like Drew, like Yari, like. Let's get to our plugs early. We give you plugs early here for all of our pals. Like the Drew Yari Show. That's like totally like available like on Patreon. Cassette Classics 86 on YouTube. The Down Under Thundercast. The wrestling podcast icon himself, Mr. Don Tony. Necromaniacs podcast. Guess what, Shah? New episodes about last night in Soho. Can't wait to listen to that one.
Nice.
The Inhuman Experience podcast. Ringsiders Wrestling on YouTube, Mo Dirk City Machine Guns, The Garden of Doom, Off the Mat, Old Guy Metalcast, FunkBetty.com. Want to get some nice gifts for the holidays for some people, get them some nice clothing, you got to go to FunkBetty.com. They probably got some lovely, lovely clothes just waiting for you right now at FunkBetty.com for the holidays. MJW Games, Cherry Jesus on YouTube, The Red River Podcast, my boy Sam is killing it. Playing Dead, the band Playing Dead, that's Sam's band. They got some big shows coming up. They're playing with Taking Back Sunday at Mulcahy's. I think one of the shows is already sold out. The Bayou Geeks, that's Fatty 316. The High Marks Podcast, Midnight Mass Creature Cast, The Weekly Detour with my buddy Anthony Alston and his good friend Teddy. That's a new show you should be checking out. Planet Mondo on YouTube and Facebook groups. And of course, Halloween 365 is on YouTube. And of course, my band, Synthetic 16. Boy, I got those Spotify numbers. They made me want to harm myself. You want to spell out 16 and you want to download the album Too Far Along. on Apple Music, Bandcamp, and of course, Spotify. Yeah, I got my Spotify numbers, man. They were embarrassing. But,
Well,
it's a 20-year-old album. What are you going to do? Can't cry about it. I'm not going to cry about it, B-Show. I want to cry about it, but I'm not going to because it's just not becoming of me.
I've been listening on Bandcamp a lot to you guys, to Erie Point, and to Playing Dead like the past 2 weeks straight, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe one of us will have a song break and we could book like a little tour. We'll go on a tour. That'd be kind of fun. Like even if it's like a week, that'd be fun. Yeah. So yeah, check out the band. Check out and also check out Erie Point. They're pretty awesome. And check out, of course, Playing Dead. And of course, our friends at 5 Cent Hero. I'm still waiting to find out when I'm getting that video. Once that video is up, we'll throw it on the Patreon. I'm going to ask the drummer there, Wayne. He's doing all the heavy lifting here for us. But yeah, check out my band, Synthetic 16, man. And maybe we'll get some t-shirts out to some people for the holidays. It's a busy time, party people. So as we're recording this, the first big holiday towards the end of the year is gone. That is Thanksgiving. We hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I will talk a little bit about my Thanksgiving, but first, Shah, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was okay. I'm kind of beefing with the family right now. So it's a little awkward.
Nice.
Yeah. It's seasonal. Last year, we did it virtually.
Nothing like beef for the holiday.
Yep. So last year we did it virtually. And then this year I just kind of chilled and I went to a Friendsgiving actually, because I have a friend at Temple, and Temple, like there's a bunch of people that are from out of town. So they'll throw like little Friendsgiving. So I was there and I didn't know anybody but her. So
how was that?
It happened.
It was okay. I thought you were gonna have a fucksgiving. That's where you just go and fuck somebody.
Just join a bunch of fucking.
Yeah, just join an orgy. Feel your way around like a blind man at an orgy.
Right.
It's a fucksgiving. I've had a couple of those. B-Show, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was a plain old Midwestern Thanksgiving where family gets together. Some people drink too much, have a good time, and then you drive home when you probably shouldn't. Because we all live real close to each other. So it was a real good time.
So we're going to talk about this a little bit. I haven't told the guys too much, but I was in the Pocono Mountains. I was staying at a big place, like a 13-bedroom, multiple farmhouse with a lake and like a playground and all this other stuff. I was in a place with about 33 relatives. None of them were mine. It was my in-laws. It was my mother-in-law's 70th birthday. And it was fucking awesome. We had a great goddamn time. I was not the Frank the Tank. That was one of my brother-in-laws would take that honor. But I was trashed out for days. I was just beyond. Like I drank and ate. Like you would have thought the electric chair was going to be the headliner of this show. But I had a fucking awesome time. I had I can't tell you enough. I had the best time. Everybody had a great time. I spent a lot of time with my nieces and nephews playing with them on the trampoline and on the play set and getting punched in the face. And one of them called me a fat, ugly pig. But it was all out of love. It was really all out of love. They would take my hat off my head and put Cheerios and like Legos in it. And then I would pretend not to notice and put it on my head. And they thought this was the funniest thing. It was just like, it was amazing. I had a great fucking time. The person who watched my dogs was awesome. My dogs were so not into like us coming to take them back because they were probably treated like kings and queens from the dog sitter for 3 days. And but Shah, I've been saving this for you guys. I haven't said this to anybody really. So I live about maybe 3 hours from Pocono Mountains. And one thing I didn't know, Shah, which maybe you could shed some light on, I'm hoping, is that apparently the further you get in like the Pocono Mountains, which is like for people that don't know, Pocono Mountains, and Shah, you can help me with this. It's like a ski resort country area where a lot of people go skiing and have like ski homes, but it's very rough and tumble. I don't know. Shah, what's your impression of Pocono Mountains?
Like I told you last week, man, I've never been there. So you actually probably know more about it than I, but I mean, how you described it, I'd say it's pretty accurate. As far as, people that I know that have gone there. Yeah. It's like country as hell, but it's upscale because it's a resort. It's like,
that's what I was going to get to. So there's resort areas. So when I was a kid growing up, when you only had 3 channels, 7, 2, and 4, local commercials were for things like Mount Airy Lodge. There used to be a jingle that went, beautiful Mount Airy Lodge. And you would see this. And as a kid in Brooklyn, like whose life was not the greatest because it was a lot of chaos and no money and a lot of craziness, you would see like this lodge in the Pocono Mountains and people toasting in hot tubs made out of heart-shaped hot tubs. And like, it's basically a place from the tri-state area where people would go to fuck. That was the impression I had of it. It was like, oh, this is where people go to fuck. It was like, cause that's kind of what it seemed like to me. And fast forward, when I was like 21, me and my 19-year-old girlfriend went there with another couple. And we got one of those hot tub rooms with the hot tub and actually had a small pool in the room. Like it's very 80s, maybe very 70s. I don't know. It was kind of like the poor man's grotto, like the way Hefner had the grotto. But yeah, I would see commercials for the Pocono Mountains. And as a kid who's, we didn't go anywhere. Like we went to the Army base pool. Like there was no vacations in my fucking family. We didn't go anywhere. Maybe you get to go to Florida on someone else's dime once in your childhood. But even when you went there, they didn't really do much with you. So I was jealous of this. I coveted that area. But, then you get up there and you're like, oh, it's kind of, it's a little rock eater-ish. Like, it's a little, but Shah, the thing I wanted to bring to your attention was as we got closer to the town where we were in, there was Trump signs, like new Trump signs everywhere. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I'm not a dude like that I don't care one way or the other. But like dilapidated farmhouses that look like they're being held up with scotch tape and like meth lab juice.
Oh, yeah.
With Trump, like, dude, Trump signs on dilapidated barns. And they just say Trump. They don't say like Trump 2024. And it's like some of them looked a little haggard, right? Like the signs. But some of them looked brand new. And Trump flags, like on flag poles, on these in farm towns where like, even the cows looked like they were like destitute. Like it wasn't like a nice area. Like, is this common? Like do you guys know like where you live? Why would I don't understand why people that don't have a lot of money that have chickens in their front yard, like that their whole house is on stilts, have Trump signs. Like Trump's not even running for like, have you guys seen this? Is this it's not like, well, I don't see this that much where I live. Do you see this by anywhere where you guys live? Like arbitrary Trump signs?
Yeah, I mean in Pennsylvania, it's very common. I used to do the deliveries for Amazon a couple months ago, and they would send me to Bucks County in like these bumblefuck areas.
Right.
And it's exactly how you described it. It's farmlands, it's trailer parks, it's like it's areas that don't have money, and you're looking at it and you're like, dude, what the fuck? And half the houses have like Protect 45. I'm like, yo, like,
what does that mean?
45,
oh, it was like Stop the Steal?
Well, no, I guess. But
I don't know. Do you know what
40, 45 was Trump. He was the 45th president. So they're saying
stop for Trump. Like stop Trump?
No, protect him.
Oh, I don't know. He's not.
But yeah, that's a common flag I see in Pennsylvania a lot is Protect 45.
I grew up in a military family, really. Like my father was in the military most of my childhood. He was in the reserve, like almost my entire childhood, right? And we didn't constitute a flagpole, let alone a flag on a flagpole. So to see that somebody, like I almost wondered, did they buy the flagpole to put the Trump flag on? Like it's weird. Bisha, do you see that where you live in like dilapidated areas with giant Trump signs on barns?
Yeah. It's like out here they have like there's some old ones that still have like mail pouch tobacco because they inherited the farm from mom and dad or something.
Yeah.
But like the farther you go away from the city, you see more and more of these like weirdo like I almost expect like the Trump 2020 whatever to be like crossed out with spray paint and like spray painted 2024 below it because it's like why else would you keep it up? But I don't know. It's like they think he's coming back like fucking Christ or some shit.
I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. Okay. I honestly, I don't get it. And I'm not shitting on people who like Trump. I get it. That's who you like. That's who you like. I don't care. But like, that's like some billionaire simping. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like people like, dude, I was in a town where we got gas. The fucking pumps looked like the pumps from The Outsiders. Like I was waiting for Soda Pop Curtis to come out and pump my gas. Like there's no digital pumps. The pumps were the old, they come up to like my titties. Like they come up to like here and they're boxes and you got to go in. And then the girl was like, yeah, you don't have to pay first. And then I go out to the pump and my wife and kids are in the car and I'm like, what do you do? And there's like a latch, like a metal latch that you have to push down. I'm like, what fucking century is this? There's chickens all over the place. Chickens. Like people just got chickens in the front yard. But it's like you don't have like digital gas screens, but you have new Trump signs everywhere. Like, I just think that you don't think that's weird?
Yeah, I think the whole idea of people that are living in poverty supporting billionaires that don't give a shit about you is the weirdest fucking thing to me. And I mean, that's very common with Trump. That's typically what I saw, like trailer parks where he doesn't like white trash people, man.
Oh God, no.
He grew up in New York around like the elite people.
I could only think what he must think of.
Yeah, he's not hanging out with. Yeah, he's not hanging out with hillbillies and shit, man. Like he doesn't give a fuck about hillbillies. Like the towns that I would deliver to, like the rural redneck ones. I mean, I would even send you guys some of the videos. Like, dude, I don't know, like this shit looks like the Blair Witch Project, you know. But those areas, they would have a ton of Trump signs. And sometimes I would have to go with the Amazon thing. They would make you deliver like on the farm, and the fucking driveway is like a mile long, and they have signs about Second Amendment and private property. I'm like, dude, I really don't feel.
Yeah, there was a lot of don't tread on me flags.
Oh yeah.
A lot of those yellow flags with the snake. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, the whole Blue Lives Matter, like the Trump,
I didn't see any of that.
They all go together here anyway. They like those four are like in a row. They just kind of go together.
Yeah, and again, look. I'm not trying to. I just think it's weird if you look like you barely have electricity and your pumps haven't been updated since the first Blob was in movie theaters, but you have giant Trump signs that you could see from space. I mean, I don't know how much those signs cost, but you know, I mean, we couldn't even like we had to go to like some weird store to get ice because it was the only store that had ice in like a 5-mile radius. And like, you know, I think 5 miles is a lot of space. Like I can go to a lot of different places in 5 miles where I live. And I don't live in some big major city. B-Show, this is common though, where you live too, like a lot of dirt farm people, like just think Trump's like, and it's not, these are not election signs. Like he's not like, it's just so random. Like maybe there was a smattering of the old Trump signs.
Yeah, but it became a cult, man. It's a cult now. They're in it for life.
What isn't a cult? Honestly, what isn't?
Well, everything. But that's what it's about. It's a lifestyle now. It's not about him getting reelected. It's about we're with him till we die type shit. You know.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't get the cult like shit, but I think there's two things that I thought of when you said that. One, with people who like put that shit up, the cult like shit I don't get, but there are people that they were into Trump because of what they thought he stood for. And he's going to tell it how it is, and he's going to say what's on his mind. And it's like, that's fine if you're right, and if you're a decent person. But if you're incorrect, that's just horse shit.
Yeah, I don't get it, dude. I don't get it.
But the second thing, the poor people obsessed with Trump and other billionaires, I get that because I had a friend who was like that. And he was not making good money, and I'm not shitting on him for it, but he was not in a good spot. And all he would ever tell me is like these libertarian talking points and neocon shit, and all the government wants to do is hold people back. They think in their minds, because they have to think this way, that people like Donald Trump made it on their own because it gives them hope that they can make it as well, and that they can be like that. They believe on that from a ground level.
But don't you? But okay. I mean, I don't want to make a whole thing of this, but like Trump got his money from his dad, yo. Like there was no hard work. Like
his dad gave him a couple million, man.
Yeah, like
huge difference.
He was not growing up on a farm listening to Creedence. Like that's not what was going on. He was living in fucking like a mansion, like a townhouse in like, you know, in Queens or whatever. And then his father bought all these condos like in Brooklyn and in Manhattan and buildings that had all these shady business deals. Like I look, it's one thing to like a self-made dude or a self-made woman. I think that's amazing. I love self-made people. I love people that work themselves up from obscurity but this is not that dude. And to put that on your barn, that's like, dude, these barns were like sloped. Like it looks like fucking like the Shire. Like it's literally like a step above where Frodo lives. And like, can you imagine going into the Shire with Gandalf on the cart and there being Trump signs everywhere in the Shire? Like, it's just so weird, dude. Like, I don't get that. And I'm not shitting on people. I'm just admitting that I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird, right? Because this looks like a poor place outside of the lodges. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. And he's not running for it. It's like, it would be like the equivalent of like, say, like, you know, you're a big fan of the Packers, but they won the Super Bowl like 9 years ago, but you still got the sign on your barn or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's weird, dude. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe move on. I don't know.
No,
it's one thing if he's running again, but he's not.
I'm with you, man. It's weird. I get it. No matter what, it's weird. But there's a lot of weird shit that happens out in the country. Like, I'll see people who have farms and the barn is falling down. There's like 3 slats left on the one side, but then they're building a brand new barn next to it and just not tearing down the old one. So like, there's a lot of shit that doesn't make sense out there.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, Shah, do you think the land is cheap in that area? Like the actual land itself?
Not now. No, I think those people, that's just, you know, passed down through the generations. I don't think it's cheap now.
Yeah, I mean, because I saw so many barns that literally looked like if I just went over and like went like this and put my finger on it, the whole thing would collapse. But they still had the intent to put the Trump signs on it, and it's just like, I don't know, man. He's not even running. There's no election. He's not running for anything. Like, he's not like it's a weird thing. I don't know, man. I think it's weird. If that's you, do you? But you can't fault other people for thinking that that's strange. That you look like you barely have running water and your internet service is like dial up, you know, AOL, using AOL software, but you got this giant blue sign and a yellow flag, like, you know, draping in the wind, like you're in some sort of like fucking dystopian future. Like, why don't you take all that money and interest and get high speed internet? Because I couldn't fucking download a picture for fucking 3 days in that fucking town.
People do that all the time, man. You ever see somebody that, you know, they have fucking holes to the roof. There's pigeons coming in the house, but they have 22-inch fucking rims on their car. It's like, dude, maybe get the roof fixed. You know what I mean? Like, the pigeons are shitting on your dinner plate. Maybe that's a little more important than the fucking rims on the car. But
yeah, I mean, but this was very, I mean, I'm telling you, these farms looked a little shit. They didn't look like nice.
Oh, I know exactly
farms.
What you're talking about, dude.
They looked like crack, like the crackhead version of like meth den farms.
It's like wrong turn, like in real life.
Oh yeah, dude. Like the cows looked rough and tumble. Like when I see when your goat looks like he's not doing well, but you have this giant blue, you know, 50 by 50 sign on your barn with a hole in the side, you know, from the Great Fire of '76. Or whatever the fuck is going on. Get your priorities straight, dude. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, just get your priorities straight, people. That's all. I'm not shitting on it. I got love for the Pocono Mountains. I've been out there a few times, but man, it's weird, man. And by the way, does everybody smoke again? Is that also like there's so many people like smoking, like anybody, like any service thing we went to, everybody's smoking.
Nothing's changed in like old Pennsylvania towns, though. Everything has remained the same since like the 70s. Everything's the same.
That's what it seemed like to me. And I was around in the 70s, so I would fucking know. Like, you know what I mean?
Yo, do they have a shit ton of antique stores? Like on each block, there's like 17 antique stores.
Not antique stores, but they had general stores, which I thought was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's adorable. I'm from Brooklyn, a fucking general store. You know, it's not exactly a bodega by the F train or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I had a great time, man. Like, for all the shit I talked, I had a great fucking time. And it's crazy because I just didn't feel like going away. Like, I just didn't feel like packing and like sleeping. The worst thing was sleeping. Like the bed, there was like springs sticking out of the beds. It was, I don't know if they got them from some abortion clinic or something. Some of the beds were not really great. I knew we were getting a shitty room too. Like, I knew it in my mind. So I would just drink to the point where it wouldn't matter what the bed was like. That's literally what kept happening. I just drank to the point where it would not matter what the bed was like. My wife and I did karaoke. We've never done that. I'm not a karaoke guy. We did a little Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash karaoke that nobody cared about, which I was still a little bitter about.
You sing Jackson?
We should have done Jackson. Oh, I was so drunk, dude. We did the Dylan song. We did their version of It Ain't Me, Babe.
Okay.
We should have done Jackson. Oh, I could have. That would have been great. Randy did really good. Randy could sing pretty good. Randy used to sing with me, so Randy could sing pretty good. But like, I think my wife was like, "Yeah, everybody just expects you to sing good. So when you sing good, nobody cares." I was like, "Oh, I guess that's a compliment." But you know what's funny, guys? I was talking all this shit about trying to get COVID, and my area is besieged with COVID. My wife is back on a COVID unit. We've now had the most positive cases in my county since January, and it's almost January. The COVID comeback is in full effect. How do you pronounce that new variant? Do you guys know the proper pronunciation? Omicron? The South African variant?
Sounds like Comic-Con. No, I don't know.
Omicron.
Omicron. It sounds like Kodachrome. For Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah.
Simon and Garfunkel. So we now have confirmed case, I guess, in California of that variant.
More than that, they just came out 2 hours ago from NBC News.
Oh, Jesus.
Found in Minnesota, Colorado, New York, along with California. So you know, we've been talking about this for as long as we've had a show. And I did say, and I think we've all said this for a while, that watch what happens when the holidays happen. And I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? It just seems like endless COVID. It's endless, like COVID now, like COVID today, COVID tomorrow, COVID forever.
Dude, you asked for it. It's here. You asked for it.
I know, but it's like, is it my fault?
It's your fault.
I guess did I make a wish and my wish came true?
Yes. That's what I was telling you, man. You asked for it, it's fucking here. You should have asked for something better.
I mean, like, I'm starting a new job on Monday.
You get to miss the holidays now, though. You have an excuse again, you know?
Dude, but here's the thing. I don't have any. My holidays now. We're doing the Hanukkah now. Like, it's just we did the whole holiday like with the family because everybody was together. And now we don't have anything going on. I think till Holy Week, which isn't for a while. Like, no, I'm serious. We have nothing going on. Like, my wife is working Christmas Eve. I'm taking the kids to Spider-Man. And then my wife is working Christmas Eve. I'm taking the kids to Spider-Man. She was supposed to work Christmas Day because she's a Jew and she didn't need that day. So she was, hey, I'll work. So people that celebrate that day. But now she's going to be home. But that's also a Saturday. So most people, we're going to get Friday as the holiday. So wait, you guys, it's COVID is my fault? The new COVID is my fault?
Yeah, you went pretty heavy on that last week.
I did it for me. I didn't want it for society. I didn't want it for Minnesota and California and Colorado and New York.
Now you sound like Howard Dean. You sound like Howard Dean with that shit.
We're going to get COVID in Colorado and Minnesota and New York. So wait, do you think people are going to blame me?
I hope so, man. I vote yes. You straight up fucking brought this down, dude.
I just want so for the press. I want it for the press.
Can I practice my apology video now? I mean,
yeah. Dude, you sent me on a tour.
I don't have that. You sent me on a
goddamn tour, man. You're going on tour. You're going on an apology tour.
I don't have that kind of power. It's like that Curb where they asked Larry to pray for the guy's dad, and Larry was like, "Nah, no pray." And he goes, "How do you know?" Because they don't work. And he goes, "How come I know prayers don't work?" And Larry goes, "Because I'm bald." I don't know. I don't think. Look, I thought this was happening anyway. I thought COVID was going to make a big holiday comeback. But my wife was back on a COVID unit for the first time, and she was not happy. She's a little COVIDed out. She's got COVID. She's got COVID withdrawal. She's done enough COVID. She's done. She's done the COVID. She did the COVID thing. And I don't know. I mean, do you guys think this is going to be like, because now that Biden's talking about extending mask mandates and New York is going to bring masks. New York City is going to extend mask mandates to travel through mid-March. They were supposed to expire, I think, at the end of the year. And now it looks like New York City, where you have to wear a mask in any form of transportation, like whether it's on a bus or a train or like, you know, if you get in an Uber or anything like that. They're talking about extending it to mid-March. What do you guys think? Do you think it's necessary? Do you think this is like, I mean, are we starting to think maybe there's something going on? Do we think maybe some of these people are just overreacting? What is your thoughts as COVID makes the comeback of the century?
Dude, you know, last year when we first started the show, we would talk about how people would eventually just get used to COVID and it would become just not a big deal anymore.
Right. Like
I'm
herpes.
almost, yeah, I'm almost like that right now. Like I'll be the first to admit it. Like it slips my mind all the time now. Like it's just become, a thing that I'm just living with. So in a way, I'm not really as worried as a lot of people are. Like I'm not one of those people that says it's fake either, though. I just think I don't know what to think anymore.
I don't know.
I just don't know.
Well, I don't want to speak for all of us. I'm gonna say I don't think any of us think it's fake.
Yeah,
we've never said it's fake.
I just don't know what to believe anymore. You know what I mean? It's constantly changing.
It's constantly changing. Bisha, what about you? What is your COVID tolerance like at this point? Are you like if we go back, because it seems like we're going backwards, and if you remember that slippery slope backwards a year ago was very bad for quite a long time. What do you think? It's possible that we can get back there?
I mean, it could, because we don't know what's coming with these variants. But like, I'm with Shaw, dude. I just don't even know what to think anymore, because people are pushing back against vaccines. The vaccine mandates are getting fucking struck down state by state, and now it's like, oh, new variant, and you have to take the vaccine and all this shit. And then I have nurses who I talk to who say, yeah, it's serious, and yes, people should get vaccinated, but like, the comorbidity thing is huge too. So should we be mandating healthy living as opposed to vaccines? Or
that's true. Like they're not making distinctions, guys, between the new cases and the fatties and the people with like health problem. Like they're not even doing that anymore.
No.
I mean, by the way, are you guys seeing any distinctions between the new cases and vaccinated people and non-vaccinated people? Because they were doing that in the beginning and they don't seem to be doing that anymore.
No, because at first it was, if you get the vaccine, you're less likely to get it. Then people started getting it and they said it won't be as bad. And then I'm hearing of people dying who've been vaccinated. They're really old.
Yeah,
but people who've been vaccinated, had the booster, they still die. So the news that I've been hearing, and that's why I don't know what to believe, is one day I'll hear it's not effective. You have to get the booster. Then I read an article like this one from something San Antonio that says it looks like the vaccine has been effective, the mRNA ones, against Omicron in early stages, but they don't know for sure.
But there's not enough evidence to support that.
So
why
like,
say it?
Exactly.
Why the?
Do you think it's just do you think it's like all these news agencies trying to scoop each other, spreading the disinformation, or do you think that no one knows what the fuck is going on?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, like, I think it's a little bit of both. Don't you think that's fair? They don't. I understand that it's still relatively new, like, and it's changing, and it takes very long time to successfully track this. But then why? It's like basically like the equivalent of, if you're going to go on a date with somebody and they tell you like, right off the bat that you're not banging. So then you could like at least, temper your interest in them or leave it out there like open-ended, like, are we going to bang or not? That really, for me, that dictates the tone of how much effort I'm putting into the evening, right? The problem is they told us a lot of stuff, I think, under the auspice of the way you would make someone think that you're going to bang them. And then we didn't bang. And now we're very upset that we're not banging. Like, I don't know. I don't understand how the messaging is so bad. Like, I don't know whose COVID's PR is, but they're terrible. I mean, they're just awful PR people. They really need to do something with their PR people, whether it's the World Health Organization or Fauci or the White House or the previous administration or local health experts. I feel like they're all just talking shit. That's what it seems. We don't want to get your hopes up, but we also don't want you to think you're getting a blowjob at the end of the night. So let's just see what happens. I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting very frustrated because my family went through this with my wife, every day. And it was rough. It was rough on us. We were all home. We thought we were kind of getting back to normal. I don't know. Do you think normal is never? I feel like normal is never happening again. I think normal is an abstract thing.
Yeah, it's a wrap, dude. Normal is done. This is the new normal. Like barely getting to go out, shit, like shutting down for a couple months, coming back out, people wilding out. This is the new normal. I think we're gonna have new variants for years to come. I mean, this is just the new thing.
What do you think, Bisho?
I think I said this on Twitter. I don't know if I said it on the show a few months ago. I think this is the new 9/11. in the sense that once it happens, we're not going
So
back.
this is Shaheen's fault too.
Yes.
Yeah, my bad,
Okay, so
dude.
much like 9/11.
No, no. COVID is you, dude. Don't try to put COVID on me. That's
I mean,
you.
Shaheen has
fucking asked
apologized for
that
9/11 on
shit.
several.
Yeah, you
occasions.
asked for that shit. You got to apologize.
So
for
wait,
this one,
Shaheen,
dude.
if you're responsible for 9/11, I guess I'm responsible for COVID.
By the way,
'Cause
it's
I
jokes
wish-
before you fucking send people to my house and shit. We're joking.
They won't
My
come
name
there.
is-
They don't want it. They don't want to get blown up. They don't.
Oh,
want,
dude,
they
they
don't
got-
want to get
they
killed.
got-
in
they
a-
got
They don't want to
tabs
get
on
killed
me.
in a jihad. They don't.
They
They're
got tabs on me, man. I've had tabs on me since like 97.
Tell me about it. What were you going to say there, B?
I was just gonna say, man, it's like the Patriot Act. Once you cross that threshold, you're not going back. And it's funny because like Jesse Ventura says a lot of stupid, wacky shit.
You don't say.
But one time they asked him about 9/11, and they said, "Well, don't you think it was good that we had all this action?" And he said, "They did this just to make people feel safe. They didn't do it to really do anything." And it's like, wow, that's a really good point because like Patriot Act and all the action, it reminds me of when someone's caught in traffic and you're going to be held up for 5 minutes and you drive 5 minutes around traffic and waste your time anyway, just so you're moving. Like, that's what this all feels like.
I feel like you're talking about me, but go ahead.
That's actually referencing.
I'm like Larry David. I'm too smart to be in traffic. I'm
the shortcut through the
I'm
valley.
too smart to be in traffic.
If you guys aren't watching Curb this season, you're missing
Curb.
out.
Curb is back with a vengeance. Somebody said this, and it might be some Yahoo crazy person, but they said, we don't want to be free. We want to be safe. Like there was, I might be paraphrasing this. I heard this on one of my 9,000 podcasts that I listen to, but I think there is some truth to that. I still see this very stark division between people who are just going to do whatever they are told, no matter what it is, and no matter what cost, and people who will never believe what they are told. And as a hardcore, person, from the New York hardcore scene as a teenager who always liked metal and comic books and horror movies and uncool things, for his adolescence and teenage years, quite frankly, when everybody else was listening to disco and finger banging, I was listening to Live After Death, the Iron Maiden concert, album that I got for 8th grade or 9th grade for Christmas. It does seem that people don't care as long as they feel safe. I mean, would you rather be safe or free? I feel like I would always choose free. I don't know that you're ever really safe. And I'm not shitting on people. Look, I'm not even saying I think there's a little bit of everything happening. I think a little bit of this, if not maybe more than a little bit, is overblown. I also think a little bit of this, they're just making up because they don't know and they're afraid to say, we just don't fucking know what's going to happen next. I also think it's an ever-changing virus. It's a virus. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not a cookie where you put the same ingredients in and then the cookies come out the same. You know what I mean? Maybe slightly variated. The shit is changing, but we're not going forward. I think to feel like we're going forward is a misconception. But I will say, and look, people could agree with me or not. That's totally fine. I love discourse. My understanding of this from the health expert that I live with, who deals with this now every day again, who's been dealing with this a lot more than any of us have, or most people listening, unless they work in the healthcare field. Her opinion on this is the non-vaccinated people were going into spaces that they weren't supposed to, and they got sick. And some of them got really sick. And in some cases, some of them got people who were vaccinated sick. Like that's, and this is someone who's dealing with this. So I have to take her at her word because this is what my old lady does as a fucking job. You know what I'm saying? Like she has COVID patients. She had COVID patients who died. She had quite a few COVID patients who died, and they weren't all fatties and 100 years old. And I'm sure everyone listening to this knows somebody or knows somebody who knows somebody that had someone in their life that was in very good health, that did not have these comorbidities, that were not obese, that were not seniors, that died. I'm certain of it. I'm absolutely certain of it. And that's scary, and I get the wanting to feel safe, but there is a freedom aspect to this that when you take the crazy Yahoo people out of it, the fucking nutcase shit kicker fucking people, there is a freedom conversation that needs to be had. Look what's going on in Australia. Look what's going on in the UK. Look what's going on in Italy. Look what's going on. I think it was maybe South Africa. there's some crazy fucking shit going on. Did you see what was going on in Australia? That there's rumors that they have like camps that they're putting people in.
Yeah, I was just going to mention Australia when you were saying that.
Is this true? Has this been confirmed or disproved?
We'll find out.
I didn't see it confirmed, but I saw it about a week ago or so.
Australia's hardcore with this, man. Hardcore. What
At
the
least
fuck
it's
is
not
going
Austria,
on?
man. It'd be worse if it's
BBs.
Austria.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit more worried if it was like
Yeah.
Eastern Europe. But
Yeah.
All of the people in the camps, they have dark hair and dark eyes. They
This is-
carry the COVID virus, yeah.
and look what was going like Europe. You have to have the passport vaccine or something. Like I'm sure our European friends will tell us more about this than we know.
Well,
but-
shit, Shaheen, you sent something from like Arizona to get to get your driver's license renewed electronically. You had to have like proof of vaccination. Wasn't that you?
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I don't know if that was real though.
Okay.
I don't think
know
that's
if that
real. I
was-
think
okay.
we would have heard more about that from
Well,
people.
this from the BBC. Howard Springs, Australia police arrest quarantine escapees.
Oh my god!
Yeah, COVID quarantine compound. They broke out in the middle of the night and then went to arrest. Like fucking escape from Alcatraz.
I heard the purge siren.
They're blowing up inflatable rafts with a fucking accordion on the shoreline trying to get off the island.
Wow, dude, somebody had a thing. I think it was on Twitter. It was somebody in a store. It might have been in California or something. And it was just a guy without a mask. And they were like, "Can you identify this maskless person?" The police were looking for him or something. I don't know how accurate it is. I could be misreading that. I don't know, people. I just want to say, if it is my fault, I only wanted it to happen to me temporarily. I didn't want it to happen to any of you. And I'm sorry if I set us back globally. I didn't realize if I knew I had that much authority and much power, I would use it much differently. And apparently I'm a lot more popular than I thought if this is going to be my fault. I just want to say emphatically, COVID is not my fault. If COVID comes back and everything gets shut down again, maybe I wished it, but that was like last week, a few weeks ago. I didn't wish it for Christmas. You know, I want to go see Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man. I want to go see it.
Well,
imagine people start getting mad at me, like for real, like, dude, like, I don't know, like, did you know that this was happening? And this was like a joke. It's like, I'm barely literate. Like, trust me, I don't know anything about COVID. I really
like
don't. I
you
just
actually,
don't.
like you manifested it into existence and now it's really your fault.
Yeah, like I had sex with a pangolin, like Randy Marsh, and now it's totally my fault.
Can you guys see my screen?
Hold on.
Yeah, we can see it.
It doesn't look all. I mean, I don't know if this is just propaganda photos.
This is the COVID camp?
Yeah.
This looks like a
great
hostel.
time. Yeah,
This looks like a hostel.
trying
COVID
to
camp
move
with a
in.
bunch of young blonde kids. What's going on here?
Fuck.
Come on over here and throw the pigskin. Well, that was the
Damn.
worst Australian accent
That
of
was
all time.
John,
wasn't it?
John, I am with you, man. I want COVID now. Let's do this shit.
Dude, this looks like the Poconos.
That's the next stop on Shaheen's
Beautiful
world tour.
COVID,
It's COVID camp.
Come on
Shaheen's
down to
next stop.
COVID camp, mate.
Howard Springs.
We'll swab you in the morning, and then you could throw some shrimp on the barbie.
You can pet a stingray, Howard Springs.
Wow. Yeah. Don't forget the free concert we got. Yep, that's
God
right.
damn, dude.
Nickelback. We know they're
Oh.
Canadian, but they didn't want them there neither.
Dude, this is free COVID camp.
Dude, they're shooting
It's like a
pool. I'm
Look
about
at
to go
this
get COVID.
This isn't COVID. this is a college dorm.
This is
This
like
is the
MTV's.
COVID camp?
What was that?
That
What was
guy's
that
got
one
a
show?
beer. That guy's drinking beer in cargo shorts.
The real world?
Yeah, this looks like the real world, man. This looks like a bunch of
This is,
fucking.
wait a minute, is this the real world COVID Australia?
Yeah.
There's going to be a Diane Sawyer ABC special in 5 years about all the babies that were conceived at this COVID camp.
Why is everybody in COVID camp young and attractive? Has anybody figured this out yet? Are they just
Well-
trying to protect? Are they trying to protect people? This is COVID camp. Australia is such a strange country.
Damn,
Bring
dude.
in
You
your
can get
meals.
DoorDash?
Dude,
Dude, you got-
Australia's doing it right, man. This is good.
Look at this gym. Wait a minute.
Wow.
That's a Planet Fitness. That's Planet Fitness.
What are we doing
Look
here?
at that Olympic-sized pool. Oh my God. This is better than like most people's livelihoods in our country. Look at this pool.
Oh my god, dude, we got to get COVID and go to
Oh, John.
Australia.
Oh,
Why are
John.
they showing all
God.
these attractive people at the
What the
COVID camp?
fuck are we doing?
I'm
here?
sold.
Oh my God.
She can stick a
Alright.
Q-tip in my nose
Dude,
anytime.
look at
Fuck.
some
Dude,
of these
I'm
girls
not
at the
getting my
COVID.
booster. I'm not getting my booster anymore. I'm getting this shit.
Look at COVID camp. Oh my God. This is
Well, I don't know
For the
about
everybody
these
ladies
looks,
dudes.
watching.
Yeah, for
everybody
these
looks
dudes.
so happy. I've never seen this many. Oh, is that a Vegemite sandwich?
Get your daily Vegemite.
Oh my God.
Really got Vegemite on there. That's
We're gonna show the Minute Walk documentary at 1600. Wow, look at this shit. Wow, Australia, you're a strange bird.
yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I heard.
Go to the
This
bed.
looks
That's
like a
the care
campground.
pack. Yeah, this is a camp. Yeah, that's the senior section probably.
Dude, this is a great place to start a cult too.
Yo, for those of you that
Look at
think
this.
we're lying, just put in Howard Springs Center. It's a COVID hotel. Australia's so strange.
We're on Facebook, man. Or we're on YouTube right now.
On
If
YouTube,
you're listening to this, go to YouTube, Break the Apocalypse, man. I mean,
The
it's,
COVID
Yeah,
hotel.
we should plug that more too.
No
We're
vacancies, eh?
We're on YouTube. Make sure you go and subscribe on that. We never plug.
Yeah,
the
can
YouTube.
you guys subscribe on YouTube?
We keep
'Cause
forgetting.
I'm wearing a
that.
different cardigan every week, and it's just not worth it at this point.
who needs a Viking cruise line when you can get COVID?
Wow. Come to Australia for the COVID. Come for the weather, stay for the COVID.
Oh my God.
Dude, I feel like they put like some really like look at this shit. Look, people
Are they balancing juice boxes on their head or something?
No, it's are they?
Yeah.
It's like a holiday for people escaping lockdown. The Darwin quarantine camp. Dude, can you imagine what would happen if we had these things? People be shooting each other, stabbing each other, breaking into each other's houses and shit. They'd
Yeah,
be
we
like,
have them. They're called trailer parks.
No, these look so nice. You know why these are nice? Because they built them just for this shit. What do you think they're going to do with this when it's done? Could the homeless people live here or something?
I think
So,
they're
yeah,
just gonna let them like dissolve into the ground like the fucking Olympic auditoriums and shit.
Dude, if I was in this circumstance, this is what I would do. I would exercise in the morning, then I would go swimming, right? Then I would get a complex about how attractive everybody is and younger than me. Then I would probably work on my Australian accent, right? Then I'd wait for them to bring me my lunch. Then I would probably sit on my front porch and just, people watch.
Yeah.
And then that's my day. And then I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Dude, we should get together the Break the Apocalypse hedge fund to buy this place when COVID is done with it and turn it into a compound.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this looks like a fancy barracks.
I can't believe we're not there.
I'm so see, and you guys see, and oh man, this is so fucked up.
I want
You
to be
can
there
never
for
have
Christmas, dude. This looks like a fucking great time.
They're probably flying a Santa in or something.
Yeah, they
Oh my
probably
God.
are.
They're
Yeah.
probably flying in a Santa. Dude, there's probably a people fucking here too.
It's probably Fauci, Santa Fauci.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. You probably can't fuck it. Like they're probably up your ass. I put you on camera.
Dude, it's Australia. You can do.
Yeah, there's people
it's
fuck. There's
fine.
good looking. There's a
It's
lot of
fine.
good looking people in Australia in good shape.
Do you
I
think
just
they have
can't
like
believe it.
underground kangaroo boxing matches at night when the lights go down?
I think honestly, there's probably like we're gonna meet at lights out and fuck. We're gonna be fucking on Howard Springs. We're gonna be fucking on Crocodile Dundee Drive at 2 a.m. when they're all asleep, eh? Bring a cuppa and condoms.
When the koala goes to sleep, you come out of your head. Oh fuck, I can't even. This is too
Yeah,
ridiculous.
just let it go. Just let it
This
go.
is
Click
too
on that. Click on
ridiculous.
that. This is so much nicer than
Dude,
my
I'm so
daughter's
good.
$40,000 a year college dorm.
You know what Philadelphia has? Philadelphia has like the Kensington Junkie Center. Like this is Australia's version of this. This is what
I
they're
would
fucking
totally
living with.
live here. I would totally live here.
I got
Now-
Kensington.
Do you guys think this is like state-sponsored propaganda so it doesn't look so bad? Because I've heard people saying how terrible this is for weeks, and now I see this, and I kind of want to go there.
Okay, but let's go back to reality for a minute. You're forced to come here. You don't have a fucking choice.
Dude, I kind of
Okay.
want to find out though.
You're forced. You're forced to come here. If you're sick, they don't let you quarantine at home. I guess that was part of the problem. Like I think they show up at your door and be like, "Your bag's packed, mate. Got time for a cuppa?" And then they fucking throw you in a van, and then next thing you know, you're in Fucktown, USA. I think you're forced. It's mandatory, guys. It's mandatory supervised. So at the end of the day, it's not like shit conditions, but you don't have a choice in a fucking democracy. You see what I'm saying? Look at this. Here we go. A person in quarantine must stay in the person's allocated room, included on any veranda space allocated to the room, unless permitted by authorized. By the way, authorized is spelled with an S instead of a Z because this is the officer. And when not in your room or in the veranda, residents must take all responsible measures to stay at least 1.5 meters. Meters is spelled METRES away from any of the. This is what I'm saying, guys. It's not like you can't. Like this is.
Oh,
I'm
a
just
person
saying.
in quarantine must.
Yeah. You must not leave the zone in
there
which
you
the
go. There you
person's allocated room is located unless the person is escorted by an authorized, spelled with an S
There you
officer.
go. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys. It's you're just that's it. You're not
Oh
able
yeah.
to.
Must not leave the quarantine zone in which the person's allocated room is located unless the person is escorted by an authorized officer
Yes.
except in an emergency.
You
Yeah.
are not able to share or hand over physical objects to residents who are not your family members, right? COVID-19 lives in surfaces, so you must not give items, toys, food, activities, crocodiles, koalas, kangaroos, cuppas, or play games like cards with people outside your family, right? Yeah, quarantine staff will remind you about wearing your mask, staying on your veranda, or physically distancing through information in your resident booklet. By sending you SMS reminder texts and verbally in person if we see you, not fun. Guys,
Oh.
okay, let's be okay. They're watching you to make sure, like they put you in those conditions. It's kind of like not, you're not supposed to realize you're being watched. You
Is
know
it
what I'm saying?
Australian Squid Games?
It's Aussie Squid Games. Aussie Squid Games on the telly. That'd be great. Red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Wow, quarantine staff are wow. I'm just saying, and they probably test you all the time. I don't know. You're forced to be there though. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's not sparse conditions, but you don't have a choice. They're a democracy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This kind of does feel like the beginning of a hostel where them hot chicks are trying to get you to come party with them before they fucking slice your dick off and shit.
I'll suck your cock. And then next thing you know, you're locked in a room and you're on video the whole time.
He put a boomerang in my ass.
Stick this boomerang where the sun don't shine.
That's better. Much better.
That's way better. Well, anyway, I don't know. It still looks nice to me, but you could have the nicest room in prison, but you're still in prison. Speaking of prison, very quietly, there's a lot of activity going on this week. The other day, the Jussie Smollett trial started in Chicago. For those of you that forgot this fucking tinderbox of a situation, Jussie Smollett or Smollett, I don't know if that's, I know it's French.
What did Chappelle say? Juicy Smollett?
Juicy Smoothie or whatever he calls him. By the way, one of his sisters is beyond attractive. Oh my God. Journey Smollett. Oof, she is gorgeous. Anyway, Jussie Smollett, I guess, was that in when did he do this? 2019? Jussie Smollett was on a TV show called Empire that was very popular. He staged a racial attack that was very graphic, that was extremely polarizing and really sort of wound up the country. I'm sure when everybody heard about this, if you take the fact that it didn't happen out of it, but when it actually happened, people were really freaked out. Basically, for those of you that forgot, he's out of the closet gay actor on a hot TV show. Empire was very popular at that time. And he said that 2 white men approached him at a subway at 2 a.m. in 11-degree weather in Chicago and asked him if he was the gay N-word guy from Empire, and then tried to throw bleach on him and put a noose around his neck. Unbelievable story. Everyone believed it emphatically immediately, from famous people to athletes to politicians. I mean, no one even doubted it for a second that it happened until the police did a little digging, and it turns out he faked the whole thing and he paid people to stage it to get attention because, he knew that this was that this was going to make him famous, that this was going to, the whole thing is just so outrageous and egregious as well as outrageous. And, he paid, I guess, 2 Nigerian actors, these cock diesel dudes that were extras on the show who were bodybuilder type guys, to fake it. And then he basically said they were 2 big white dudes who apparently were racist and had bleach and a noose on them, but were big fans of the show Empire that they recognized. I didn't even know who Jussie Smollett was. I've never watched Empire in my life. Very strange. So this was in, when did this happen? 2019, right?
Yeah, Wikipedia said 2019, I think.
Do you guys remember when this happened?
Yeah, I remember it. Even back then, I thought it was shady when it first happened. I thought we talked about it. I thought this was last year.
No, it was 2019. We didn't have a show in
Really?
2019.
See,
When did this happen, B show?
Let me find out. It says, I thought it said 2019 when I looked it
Yeah,
up.
we definitely didn't have a show when this happened.
I really thought we talked about this. But then again, I was high like the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, you might have been high by
I don't know.
I mean, this, you might have been staging another terrorist attack or something. This might have bumped your terrorist attack off your radar. Yeah, but we've been waiting for this trial. And again, I just remember everybody immediately believing it. No one questioned if it was real. Like there was no, Jussie Smollett. What a gorgeous girl that girl is. My God, she is gorgeous. His family, everybody's very good looking family. I know it's a big family, very successful people in the family.
There's articles going back to 2019, just to answer your question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was definitely in the winter. It was the winter because it was winter in Chicago. I remember with Chappelle's first special. That's Jazz. I don't know her, but if you click on Journey, that's Jazz. That's not the sister I was referring to.
Yeah, she's cute too, though.
Yeah, she's cute, but Journey is like Journey. Click. This girl is good looking. Pretty girl, man. Ooh. She plays Black Canary in the new, I guess, DC universe.
Ooh, with the dark lipstick. Look at that.
Gorgeous. She's a gorgeous girl. She can act. I think she sings a little bit. Pretty. Look, this girl's gorgeous, man. She's a stunning girl. I just remember everybody from like Kamala Harris to like, athlete. No one doubted it for a second. Like everyone just believed this emphatically. Like he went and he did interviews, and there was nobody even hinting that maybe there was something wrong. This is a big deal. And it's like, because this could have led to a lot of bad things happening in not only just Chicago, because people were really outraged. This could have led to a lot of unrest. I do feel like all the people, whether it was Hollywood actresses or politicians, I don't see anybody apologizing or backpedaling. I think they're just pretending that they didn't say it. But the internet is forever, and all of these tweets from then of all these people, believing him and stuff like that, and not apologizing or not taking it down or taking it back. This is a big deal because this says a lot about the fragility of our society. Somebody a lot smarter than me said on a podcast about this. I think it might have been Liz Wolfe. She's a young writer. She's also very cute, but she's a great writer. She was just on the Bridget Fedese podcast, but I followed some of her writing before she was on the show. She listened to a podcast and someone else said the fact that Jussie Smollett knew that if he did this, it would immediately make him more famous. It would immediately help him in some capacity. Like, that's kind of the shitty part. It's kind of like people that when the Me Too movement started and people that, were kind of trying to get revenge on guys that broke up with them versus women who were sexually assaulted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he is really sort of poisoned a well here and take the criminality out of it. The ugliness of what he did when there is racism in this country that's, pretty polarizing and pretty significant, to the point where now people might be less apt to believe something like this if it actually did fucking happen because of this fucking guy. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's dangerous.
Yeah, he definitely hurt the movement for sure because
sure.
Up until that point, I mean, obviously you had your random weirdo, like racist people who didn't want to believe that police brutality would happen, didn't want to think there was an issue with racism today, that it was all solved. Everything's great. We have a black president. Move on. Like, yeah, you have people saying that, but from a mainstream perspective, there was no one doubting any of this stuff when it was brought up as far as injustice, unless you're like a crank fucking Fox News guy.
Right.
But this, like you said, as soon as something comes up, you can point to this and say, well, what about this guy? How many other times does this happen?
What about him?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if you read what this, I think he's from Nigeria. Is he from? Where is the guy? I can't pronounce his last name. Sandario. The 28-year-old, blah blah blah, Lakeview. Oh, this is a different dude. This isn't the two brothers from another country. He asked him to fake beat him up. This is the first witness. Okay. I was confused. Okay. The 28-year-old Lakeview man said Smollett asked him to fake beat him up and even requested that he used anti-gay slurs and say MAGA during the staged homophobic racist attack. I was confused. I looked puzzled. He explained to me that he wanted me to fake beat him up. Like he was paying black dudes to beat him up and say MAGA, and then he was going to tell people it was white dudes who threw bleach on him. This is fucked up, man. I mean, this is a fucking evil thing to do. But he also knew that as soon as he said MAGA, you see what I'm saying? Like this, like fragility of our world that immediately, like, and because he went on the thing and he was like, I remember Jussie Smollett, like, saying, all right, they said MAGA. And I remember like thinking really? Like that really happened? Like, that's kind of fucked up. Like, oh my God. Like any rational person when they heard that story was like, holy fucking shit. But then like you start thinking, boy, Chicago at 2 a.m. in like the winter, it's like below zero. Like that's weird. It's like, and why would a guy who's on a hit TV show who's worth like a lot of money, who lives in a penthouse, have to go to Subway? Like, you know, like, couldn't he get somebody to get that for him? And then it's like, and why would there be two random racist guys? And why would the random racist guys have bleach or a noose?
And nooses, yeah.
And know him and know that he's from a TV show with all black people on it.
Yeah, man, it's way too convenient. And honestly, dude, the only person that called this out the day it happened, I remember I watched the show, was Star from Star and Buck Wild on
I heard
YouTube.
about that. He
was the only person. He was like, dude, I don't believe any of this. I'm telling you right now. Allegedly, according to me, this is staged because, you know, he watches his mouth. But he straight up called this out. He was like, this is staged. He's trying to get attention. And this is going to blow up in his face. And he was like 100% on the spot with this, man. He was on target.
Yeah, it's so awful. And then like the district attorney was like, was very loose in trying to charge him. And like, they weren't going to charge. Then the district attorney was like turning on the police for him. And it was just like, it's like this, first of all, this guy's a D squad celebrity. Like he's a D squad. I never heard of, even people like, he wasn't even a principal on the show, right? Was he a major character? I never heard of this guy in my life. Who the fuck is he? Wasn't he a failed singer or something like that?
I don't think so. I think
he had an album. He had an album. Like, and by the way, this guy's on Twitter. Why is he allowed to be on Twitter? I don't understand. This guy almost said, like, this guy literally could be responsible for race riots in a major city that's already besieged with crime and violence, but he's allowed on Twitter. Like he's not kicked off. How is he not kicked off of social media? How is he? Yeah, this other podcaster, Liz Wolf quoted this guy. We might have wrote a book and said Jussie Smollett knew that he checked off enough boxes that no one would come after him when he told the story. And that's the problem, is that we're lining up grievances. We're weaponizing our grievances. Our grievances are weapons now. And he knew if he just said MAGA, and if he threw a gay slur in there and a racial slur in there, that anybody who didn't automatically agree with him would be sus. You had to, I mean, dude, you got to see some of the tweets that people made, like Ellen Page. At the time she was Ellen Page, so that's why I'm calling her Ellen Page, or Kamala Harris, or like the guy who did the TV show Empire. Like so many people, like just like there wasn't even a hesitation. It was just this crazy thing. You know, around that time, maybe a little before that, and you might be able to find the story. We had a similar incident in my town, in my area. I live in a college town with a lot of colleges, and on the weekends, they all take the bus because nobody has cars here. And there was an incident on a public bus here in Albany, where I live in upstate New York, where a bunch of girls, I think there were 3 black girls, got into a fight on a bus with a bunch of white kids on the bus, and it got violent. And then they told the police that they were being called the N-word. And then the district attorney here and the police were looking to file hate crime charges. And then they saw the video of what actually happened on the bus. And the 3 girls, who, by the way, there were rallies, there were protests planned, civil rights leaders were coming here. It was getting major news. There's a little problem, though. The 3 girls lied, were the aggressors, the entire thing. No one said anything to them like that. And the only reason they didn't get away with it was because the buses up here are all recorded with audio. And the whole thing collapsed in on itself. But there was like planned giant protests, like like they wanted the students arrested for hate crime charge. So then the 3 girls, who, by the way, all of them were from New York City, that just go college, they all got expelled from the college. And then people in the town, like here, the police wanted to file hate crime charges against them. And they were facing, and of course, all their charges got pled down and all that stuff. But it was like, but here's another case where these 3 girls immediately thought nothing to lie about something like this, who were the aggressors on a bus, because I think they were being loud on a bus and someone asked them or said something to them. And next thing you know, they stood up and started threatening to beat everybody up. And then when the police came, they said that they were called the N-word repeatedly by all these people, and that they need to arrest all the people who called them the N-word. Dude, I mean, this happened in my town. I mean, it's just like I don't understand, like I don't even understand how you wrap your head around stuff like this. But it also says a lot about our society, where people just immediately believe it. You know, you could say the worst thing about anybody and say, yeah, they totally did this, and be like, you know, like, hey, that guy that cut me off in traffic, I'm going to take his license plate down. I'm going to tell everybody on the internet he's a pedophile. And I guarantee you, people are going to share it and say he's a pedophile without checking twice. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm talking about, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened with Enzo. I think it's a case by case basis though, because like with certain things, with you know, like race issues, I buy those stories a lot easier than I buy, you know, like sexual assault issues. And the reason is because me personally, I've gone through race issues. You know what I mean? Actually, I mean, I guess the whole ambient thing, I've been sexually assaulted now too. So
true. Yeah. You're just a hotbed of activity.
Yeah, I'm just a fucking mess from
You're a mess.
head to toe. But
You're a goddamn mess.
No, I tend to believe like the race stuff without checking into it. I'm kind of guilty of that. So I get why people believe that, just because it happens. I see it happen a lot. So it's easy for me to believe it. But it is wrong though, because yeah, people get falsely accused all the fucking time. And when we just buy it, we don't even think twice about it. You know what I mean?
And we're all guilty of it too. And it's not even like you brought up the Enzo thing. That motherfucker still doesn't really have a job.
Yeah, he's still fucking
it's been 5 years later. Like, Enzo was accused of rape 5 years ago. It was completely disproven, but the only problem is he didn't get his career back.
No, Ring of Honor tried. Ring of Honor had them debut at the Garden at the end of that MSG show, and everyone shit on him, saying he's a rapist, he's a this, he's a that.
By the way, there's still people that think Enzo raped that girl, by the way. If you go on the internet, there's still people that think he raped that girl.
I think a lot of that had to do with Big Cass, though, because I don't know if Ring of Honor was going to bring him back. That was a tag team deal, and Big Cass kind of went through his.
Well, then he went into rehab or something, right?
Yeah, he kind of fell off.
You tell me you can't like find something for Enzo in the meantime, though. I mean, that dude's money. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that dude's money.
I like Enzo. Everyone hates Enzo. He was great to me, dude. I like Enzo.
He was great to make fun of, though. Too. He's a very easy guy to make fun of. And you know, and that's the other side of it too. You know, he's a very easy guy to make fun of. So it's easy for him to like we talked about the thing with Jay Lethal, and I don't want to conflate these things because they're very different stories, but like, you know, Jay Lethal is a pretty well-liked guy in the business. People like him. Enzo, people didn't like in the business. So when you heard a guy you didn't like did something shitty, the button in your head goes off and goes, oh, that guy's totally guilty because I hate that motherfucker anyway. I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to do that. You know, if it's somebody you like, you go, are you sure it was him? Is it him?
Like Carlos Mencia, same thing. I've heard comedians come out and say that, you know, Carlos Mencia may have not been as guilty of stealing jokes, but he was a piece of shit to a lot of comedians and would bump people when they were supposed to go up when they were young. So everyone was like willing to dogpile on the guy. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't know. And I've seen the videos that show that he stole the fucking Cosby shit. But, you know, I mean, how many premises can you come up with when you're an observational comedian? So, but no, you're right. It's if we're more willing to jump on the bandwagon if it's someone like that it's easy to fucking root against. It's sad, but it's true.
This Jussie Smollett thing is interesting because I think a lot of people forgot about it, and the media is really kid gloving the story. They're not really doing a deep dive on it. You know, for a famous guy that's facing some criminal obstruction charges for doing a real awful thing. By the way, he still is denying that this is the case.
Yeah,
he's steadfastly denying this.
Yeah, his attorneys just came out today and denied that it was fake and denied the witnesses and all that shit.
Wow, this is so sad. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I wonder how this ends, because I wonder, like, like I'm not following the case. It just seems like they wouldn't dare bring this to trial unless it was strong enough, unless that was a slam dunk. Do you think that's fair to say? Like, can you imagine if this is like they had weak evidence? They seem to have a ton of witnesses. They have checks. They have him. They have his phone records. They have everything. But this motherfucker is still so dug into this ideology, because I think this guy thought that this was going to make him super famous. He was probably going to get a Netflix deal, a record deal. And by the way, that show Empire, they just completely, they were gonna do another season, I think, and I think they stopped doing the show completely because they just didn't know what the fuck to do, because they had so steadfastly believed him and dug in the sand. Like Lee Daniels, who's a very famous director in Hollywood, was his show. He was so steadfast in his like believing them. And it's just like, I just wonder, like, what, like, say, like, is he going to go to prison? Like, what if this guy goes to prison, does like hard years and hard time? Well, what if he gets off and then it's just like, what an egg on the face this is going to be? Like, I don't know. It's an interesting trial. Do you guys feel like this is getting coverages? I don't think this is getting the coverage I thought it was going to get.
I see it here and there. I mean, again, though, I listen to like different outlets. It's not going to make it to CNN. I don't think, but I mean,
Star isn't covering it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Okay.
Like Breakfast Club, like entertainment shows are covering it. I just don't think it's going to.
What are they
like
saying?
Fox.
Like, what's Breakfast Club saying?
Oh, they're saying he's a fucking asshole. They're saying the same thing that we're saying. They're saying that.
I feel like they might have been also on the side of Star in the beginning, saying that this shit sounded a little weird too.
No, but Star is independent. He can say whatever the fuck.
No, but I'm saying I think the Breakfast Club people also said that I feel like
no, they were 100% believing it. Yeah,
oh, were they?
Yeah.
Well, remember Chappelle? That was the first Chappelle special that came out. Like immediately.
By the way, Chappelle stole that Juicy thing from Star. Star started calling him Jussie Smollett day one.
Really?
Yeah, Star was actually talking about it last night. He was like, Chappelle owes me a check. He's like, I can go on YouTube. He's like, he stole that shit from me.
Whoa. Yeah. Wow. Good luck getting that check. Well, Dave's got deep pockets though. Well, as we're recording this yesterday, I guess yesterday was December 2nd. Yesterday, there was another school shooting, I think in Oakland County, Michigan. Very little coverage for a school shooting. Very little coverage. But this one is about to blow up, this story, if it isn't already blowing up. There was I don't know the full details of the story, but I think it was four people were killed and they arrested the kid. Does that sound right?
I'm pulling it up right now. Prosecutor expects charging decision soon on parents of suspect. And,
I was getting to that. I wanted to know how many people died. I think it was how many injured. Well, did they say how many people he killed?
12 counts of 7 counts of assault with intent to murder, but it doesn't say how many.
I feel like
4 counts of first degree murder.
Okay. What is he? 15?
Yes.
Okay. 15-year-old kid. Apparently he was making some threats, but he was bullied. His parents had recently got a gun, and the very next day, he took that gun and shot up the school. And apparently there was some whispering a week earlier that he might do this. There's a lot of evidence just coming out left and right. This just happened yesterday. But as B-Show just said, unlike any other times we've seen this happen before, it's looking like the parents might be charged. As recently as a few hours ago, media outlets were talking to pundits who were confirming that the police are making a decision. But what I saw on the news was they were leaning towards charging the parents along with the child for the access that I guess, did they say what the kids would be? What would they charge the parents with? Aiding or I don't even know.
I'm trying to find it, but
you don't live that far from Michigan. Do they have like crazy gun laws?
Michigan is very like pro Second Amendment. And I mean, you can go and buy gun. There's local gun shops, within 15 minutes of me. It's not bad, or it's not too far out there. I don't know if this isn't
guns.
Exactly. I was trying to explain it. Your brother's girlfriend lived in Tennessee for a long time. We were sitting talking to your brother about like what it's like down here. And it's like very hillbilly, but like they're not hillbilly. They're not from the South. It's like people cosplaying Southern hillbillies. It's weird.
It's like Delaware. Okay. Delaware's the same shit, dude. Delaware's on the East Coast, but you swear it's down south.
Yeah, I bet Delaware plenty. So unlike all these other incidences where teenagers got guns or took parents' guns, or they want to charge the parents, both parents. This has never happened before. Now, another thing, I don't know if you guys heard, but this also, because of similar threats in other schools, today 60 schools in that county were closed indefinitely. 60 schools in that county in Oakland County. Oakland, was it Oakland County? Is it Oakland County?
Yes.
Oakland County, Michigan. 60 schools will not open today and will not open tomorrow because of similar threats and concerns that other students are showing up with guns to shoot up the fucking schools. What the fuck is going on?
Well, according to the Detroit News, the Oakland County Sheriff is saying they've anticipated a flood of false threats, so they don't think they're all legit, but they don't want to take that chance.
But that also means all I need to do to get out of going to school that day is say someone's showing up with a gun and send an anonymous email, and then the entire county shuts down. Like, I don't know, like, how is that going to work though? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just asking, I don't know. Like, what is it like? So I get that. Look, I understand that, but you don't shut 60 schools for right before winter break or whatever, when we're just barely getting back to in-person schools. That is it. Don't you think that's an overreach of some kind?
Well, the sheriff is covering by saying the false threats are overrunning our resources to have police investigate them. So if they're getting threats on 60 different schools, I mean, that's an issue. That's an issue in itself.
60 motherfucking schools, yo.
Do you think that's legitimate though, or do you think that's young people trolling? Because this sounds.
I think it's 60, a lot of kids that didn't study for the fucking lab midterm.
Dude,
didn't study for the chemistry
threats.
Test.
That's too. That can't be a coincidence, man. That's crazy.
That's what they're saying. Is they anticipated fake threats, but there's so many that they can't weed them out and investigate them in time, so they're just shutting these schools down.
Because they don't have enough cops. They're probably laid off, dude.
Well, then get some help from the feds. I don't know. Get some fucking help, dude. But also, like, what are you telling these parents? Like, you got to remember, like, and Bisha, you know, but your kids are a lot younger. But I'm just saying, you can't just tell parents that there's no school tomorrow.
Well, like, my kid's fucking daycare did 2 days ago because they shut it down until the fucking 15th.
Because of COVID, right?
Well, okay. They've been understaffed, and they've done this a few times when teachers have gone out sick.
Though, right?
No, it's because they've had issues keeping people employed there. So like when more than one teacher is out sick, they'll just say, hey, we're shutting down. We don't have enough staff.
This sounds like a very well together school system you have there.
It was until it's a private daycare, like
private daycare,
school run daycare in a neighboring town. But they had new management and a bunch of teachers left. So they've been kind of under the gun. And so we think they just decided to shut down for the next 15 days.
That's so batshit crazy.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
Wow. But like, think about what that means when you like I just, from growing up in a city like New York and, you know, big public school systems. And even though I went to fucking parochial school, but it's a massive public school system in New York where you just go, listen, we're going to have to shut like 60 schools in the county for the next couple of days. And you have all these parents scrambling, go, whoa, I just got back to work. I can't take off. Who's going to pick the kid up? What about the buses? What about this? I don't have a babysitter. That means I have to take off, but I might get fired. It's like, but I got to take a sick day and I don't have any sick days left. So that means I'm going to lose a day pay. Like, you can't, like, all this is cause and effect, yo. You just can't do this shit. Like, what did they think was going to happen? 60 school shooters were going to show up tomorrow? Like, I'm not, trust me, I get it.
They can't take that risk, though. They can't, I mean, you know, if they don't have the funds to fucking weed out the fake threats, they just got to do what they got to do.
Well, plus this is a nicer part of suburban Detroit. This isn't this isn't Wayne County. This is like where fucking Romeo Rob Ritchie's from, I think.
Right.
Let's see. Let me share.
We'll get to that. Don't worry about it. Well, that's on
no. That's coincidence.
Yeah.
But like, you know, Pontiac's in there, which is, you know, whatever.
Pontiac.
Farmington Hills, West Bloomfield. Like, remember the one kid went to Cranbrook, the private school in fucking 8 Mile?
Are you talking about from the free world?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's in Oakland County.
Yeah, Oakland County.
But yeah, Rochester Hills.
Yeah. I don't know, man. What do you think about this charging the parents though? Because I mean, is this where we've been heading all this time? Like, are we going to just start charging parents for the school shootings now? I mean, there must be circumstances. I think the father literally got the gun the day before, and maybe the implication is that they were either not stringent enough with protecting it, or they might, because the kid took a picture of the gun before he came to school. You guys know that, right? He put it on the internet.
That doesn't surprise me. Every teenager before they commit a crime, they document it on Instagram nowadays. That's like a thing.
That's
But dude,
smart.
yeah, of course. Yeah, self-snitching is at an all-time high.
Self-snitching. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we love
Dude,
self-snitching.
I don't
as
know if you
comedians.
guys remember this or not, but my neighbor had a similar case happen in this neighborhood where she asked her son, who was 12,
Yes.
to
That
go
terrible story.
to go to the car and get her handgun, and he came back and he shot his little sister. She never got charged. That situation right there, that's a situation where she should have gotten charged.
Absolutely.
He got charged as an adult, and she fucking still lived out here for a couple months still.
Yeah.
So in a situation like again, this has got to be one of those things where it's case by case, because in this one it's a little iffy because they just got the gun. Like, I don't know, maybe the son was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But then again, they should have probably had it stored away somewhere where he couldn't get it. So I don't know how I feel about it, man. I'm leaning more towards being okay with them getting charged though, because like you should
So
be
am I.
responsible enough to have that stored away somewhere where a kid can't get to it.
What do you think, Bisha? What do you think this is? I mean, let's presume they get charged. Do you think this is going to be the new thing now? Like the next time we have another one of these, which will probably be in about 8 days, from our history.
We're averaging like what,
Christmas,
2 or 3
Christmas
a month.
shoot. Yeah, we average. Yeah. It's been well. I mean, this one's barely making the news. I don't know why, but it's barely making the news, like national news. What do you think, Bisho? Do you think this is where we've been headed with? Because it's just happening too. Is it just overkill now? We're just like, look, we got to start charging parents, because you got to also remember too, look what this does to a community. I mean, the cause and effect of this school shoot. I'm not even addressing the people who died. If they're children, teachers, the trauma that's going to go through that entire school building, or the family members of the parents, or the siblings, or the teachers children, or the teachers' spouses. Somebody's got to be fucking responsible for this, right?
Yeah, and it's context too, because like there are some cases where parents have guns and they try to do what they can to responsibly teach and keep them, away from the kids, and the kids still get a hold of guns and kill people. So to just blanket start charging parents for that shit, I'm not a fan of. The other thing I'm afraid of is they said that the mom was praising Donald Trump for protecting the Second Amendment. So like if they're going after her because of that, that's political. That's kind of fucked up.
That's another thing too. And again, that's kind of gross too. There is a story that came from Barstool, which I find Barstool to be repugnant, but there was the story of a football player who he was one of the kids who got killed. He was trying to protect other people and he got shot. And then that lunatic Keith Olbermann was like, this is the product of the mother's love for Donald Trump and the Second Amendment. And then like he got ratioed so badly. Like for people like, this is what you're talking about. Like we're talking about a high school football player who died being a hero, you cocksucker. But it's like everything is because everything's political currency, personal currency. So, you have to take that into consideration. I can't see, look, if they charge the parents, there's got to be a reason for it. I'd like to think there's a cohesive reason, and that in some way the parents were super negligent here. I don't know if this is going to be the new trend, but this, by the way, if this happens, they said on the news tonight when I was watching national news, this has never happened before with the school shooting, where parents were criminally held in the same, parents were criminally charged. Could it be that this woman didn't do herself any favors saying some crazy gun shit? Yeah. Could that have led to the negligence of just leaving the gun out on the table next to the car keys? I'm sure her vibrator is locked up better than this fucking gun. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm not a big gun guy. I'm also not into taking your guns away neither. I'm just not into all. I just think it's a little too easy maybe in some of these states to have guns. I don't know how I feel about open carry laws. I don't know that's necessary. I don't know. I feel like if this kid didn't have access to the gun, what would he have gone to school and done? You know what I mean? He's going to take a shit on the floor in the class. I mean, like, I'd rather him pull down his pants and shit in the middle of biology class than shoot up the fucking school.
The parents had already been made aware of his disturbing behavior, and they said they went to the school for a face-to-face meeting that morning before he shot people.
That morning?
I think that's what it said. Let me scroll back up.
Oh, my God. Oh, maybe I think it was scheduled. Oh, my God. This is an ugly story, man.
Maybe that's why they're getting charged.
I don't know, man. I feel weird about this because I'm at the point now where I've been a parent for a hot minute, and I feel like when your kid sucks. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like when your kid is a piece of shit. And I know it's probably hard to see that. Like, my kids are both fucking honor students who are like lovely. I'm lucky, but they could have just as equally, one of them could have been a piece of shit. And I feel like when your kid sucks. I'm just saying, when your kid sucks. When you have a friend who sucks. When you have like somebody that you're banging who kind of sucks. When you have a coworker who sucks. What is this kid's name? Crumbly? What the fucking means that?
Yeah. It says
Crumbly.
that his parents,
wow, he's a sophomore. Oh, he's
a baby, man.
He's a kid, man. He's 15.
His parents were brought into the school the morning of the shooting for a face-to-face meeting about their son's behavior, according to Bouchard. I don't know who that is. He wouldn't say what the behavior was. Police weren't informed about potential issues prior to the event.
Yeah, apparently something in his cell phone and a journal, at least one social media post pointing to elation at access to a handgun bought by his dad. A mom who thanked Trump for my right to bear arms, and a meeting between his parents and school administrators about his conduct just hours before the attack.
Yep.
Oh my God. Wow. He's got crazy eyes. He's got crazy face, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. He's got baby face too. Look, man, and apparently he was like a big hunting enthusiast. Look at his
Dude,
parents.
he looks crazy though. He
Originally from Florida.
Of course, I knew it was fucking coming, dude. I knew it was fucking coming. He's got a hell of a fucking Magic the Gathering collection too.
12 counts of possession of a firearm.
Fucking Florida, man.
Wow. Is he going to be tried as an adult?
Yes. He was charged as an adult.
His desire is said in a journal that was recovered, detailing his desire to shoot up the school and to include murdering students. Where were you, Mom and Dad? Where were you?
Probably putting up the big Trump thing on the barn that's falling apart.
Absolutely premeditated. Wow. Where were you? Where were you? Wow. I don't know. Yeah. Look at these kids, man. Look at these kids who died. God damn it, man. This is hard for me, man. This is my kid. I got a kid in 11th grade, bro. We just had a murder with the town over. My wife didn't want Edie to know about it, but literally the next town over, a father, I guess, I don't even know how to describe this. It's so terrible, but he tried to kill everyone in the house, and he killed his kindergartner child. He stabbed his 2-year-old child, and he killed his wife. And the only one who lived was the 2-year-old. I think he killed himself after too. The guy just snapped. No history of any problems, nothing like that. It just happened in my town. It's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like we're collapsing in on ourselves a little bit. You know what I mean? It's a heavy world, man. And some people just can't take this weight. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It bums me out.
I really think the aftermath of COVID, you're starting to see it now too.
I do too.
A lot of people held their shit in for a couple months.
Yeah.
And especially if we go back into like another lockdown, dude, like this is going to get real ugly.
That's what I'm afraid of. And it's like, as much as I think it's funny on the surface level, for yucks, the reality is I think people are not going to be able to handle this again, emotionally, psychologically, financially, relationship wise. I don't think people are going to be able to handle this again. I really don't. I think we are a medicated society, and we are we've very much become a society where we can't have a bad day, and we can't feel pain, and we can't have anything bad happen. And now it's just a cacophony of all those things happening at once, sort of globally, and people are just falling apart. I mean, it's just, Shane, didn't you just have some crazy shit happen in Philly?
Yeah, like every like 25
it
minutes.
is. Yeah, I mean, it is a week.
Which one? I shared like 25 of them. Shit.
I know. I can't keep up. That's the thing. The reason why I don't acknowledge this is because they just keep changing. There's no point.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of shootings on like campus. Like students are getting killed at Temple.
This is just, did you notice there was an uptick in the campus violence that right when you decided to go back to that campus?
Yeah,
now there's violence everywhere on the campus.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
So it's just like COVID is my fault. do you think you're to blame for the Temple
I hope
University
not, man.
violence?
I hope not. And honestly, man, I mean, I think we're on the Patreon version by now. I don't know, maybe if not.
I think
whatever.
we are.
Like I'm personally paranoid because I don't want to get into it, but like